Here's Steve from earlier this afternoon.
A lot to say, but he has no power. I have the power. They have opinions, and I want them all. I care about my players very much, but I can't give them power.
Jeff, this is getting all kinds of run in the social media sphere right there. Mob ties, boss-like, this, that, and the other. Your thoughts on how he handled one of many questions related to Lamar and kind of putting the ball in his court in a way, which we'll get. You know what? Let me go throw to that right now, and then we'll all react to both of these comments combined after this.
Eric made it clear to Lamar that when we get down here talking to him, I think he's texting Lamar after every interview, whether it's Zoom or in person. And I think he's getting some opinions from Lamar. I said to Lamar last night, when they call me up from Florida, you better get your ass up here too. Because if you want to do the interviewing, these are going to be full-day meetings like they were 18 years ago. And they go from department to department to department, right? So I said to Lamar, you can jump on my plane or find another way to get up there. But if you're that interested, then we're going to get a schedule. He's going to call me up. He's going to offer you the same luxury. And I said, I hope you take it. And he said, yes, sir, I think I will. So we'll find out.
All right, Jeff, what's your interpretation? I mean, is this a call to action, essentially?
Say that again, Bobby. You cut out. Did you say, is this a call to action?
Do you gauge that as a call to action in terms of maybe their desire to increase his involvement?
I always have to be careful what I say about the Lamar relationship dynamic because it gets cut up into pieces on Twitter, and then I all of a sudden get labeled a lot of bad things. I think, look, we've read the stories. We've all heard the speculation that Lamar's future was going to be a huge story this offseason around the league. People have written, could he be available in trades? What happens with the contract? And I took what Steve said today. Well, first of all, I don't think Steve's a big message sender. I think he's a pretty honest guy. But I took what he said today as he wanted everybody to know, we're moving forward with this guy as the face of our franchise. He's going to have a huge impact what we do going forward. We want him involved. We need him to be in accord with all of us decision makers. We want a window with Lamar Jackson at his best to make a run at winning Super Bowls. We wanted to send that message loud and clear that they want him a part of this. They view him as being a part of this. And I found the temperature a little bit about all these storylines about, is Lamar happy there? Could they trade him this offseason if they get 3 number 1 picks? What's the future of his contract? He put it all on the table. This is exactly what we wanted to do. He wanted to send that message to Lamar. This is how we feel about you. This is how important you are to our franchise. And that's kind of how I took it. Look, we're all in on this guy. Nothing that happened this past year where he struggled with injuries and there was all sorts of speculation. Nothing has altered our decision that we believe this is the face of our franchise who's going to get us to Super Bowls. And he put it all out there. I think it was a great move. There's no dancing around the bush and worrying about how his words perceived. I think it was a great step forward. And let's hope they're as transparent with this stuff going forward. And because they've made their thoughts pretty clear today that they're moving forward and every idea of their future includes Lamar Jackson as their quarterback. And I think it was important to turn down the temperature a little and silence some of that noise that had sort of crept in over the last couple months of the season.
Yeah, I think sometimes send a message almost sounds like it's almost reprimanding because I didn't take it that way. I thought the way Steve Bisciotti approached it was, he started with it plain language. I want him to be my quarterback. It was very, very specific and this is what happens with franchise quarterbacks. And he just kind of detailed, I thought, very clearly throughout kind of what the plan is this offseason. It's Lamar Jackson is going to be a part of the head coach search. And then we're going to extend Lamar Jackson. And, I think you have the quote too, Bobby, like his quote around the extension was one of the key takeaways for me from this entire press conference, because he basically just said, and this is what happens with franchise quarterbacks. It's the next guy becomes the highest paid until the next guy gets paid. And he basically said, like, let's just do that again. Let's take the contract that we had last time and let's add the money to it that would make Lamar the highest paid guy over whoever just got paid most recently. And, let's get it done. And it made it sound very, very simple from Bisciotti's perspective in terms of how this could be done. And I like that it put a timeline on it. They made it very clear that they want it done before free agency because of the cap relief that it will give the team. And if not, they have a plan in place anyway. So I just like that it was very clear. We don't have to go through, I don't think we won't have to go through the 2022 speculation about, where's Lamar going to play? He's going to be a Baltimore Raven. They made that clear. It's just about going through the logistics of putting things in place to get this contract.